Paltrocast now with Darren Paltrowitz. Get ready to listen to your favorite artists.
Paltrocast.
Ash, how's your day going aside from having to talk to wrestling media people asking you the same questions over and over and over again?
I must say my last 24 hours have been incredible. From Vegas, and I flew home, then I went on to a little family vacation. It's been such a whirlwind. As I always say never. As you all have seen yesterday, I made a sneak appearance. It was extremely incredible. I'm super blessed. And now, I'm here enjoying some family time.
Yeah, you trended last night. I was just on social media and I go, oh, she's trending. Okay. How long did you have to keep that all a secret that was going on?
Well, to be honest with you, it was all like a last minute decision. I had no idea that any of this was going to happen. I thought it was great that there was some integration of the brands, especially with Jordan. She's one powerhouse, and she's definitely one of the most talked about women wrestlers currently. So it was just, it made perfect sense, to be honest with you, because I am gunning for that, TNA Knockout World Championship. And I felt like she was at a little bit of a disadvantage. She's in NXT territory. I'm very familiar with it. So, I was trying to help her, let's just put it that way. I was just trying to help her, but she took it differently.
You were trying to help her, and in the process, you broke the internet and you trended.
Of course, by two names, not only one, but two. How does that happen?
It's confusing to a lot of people, but I'm sure it makes sense to you.
I know. I saw like a lot of people say, are we going to get an Ash versus Elegance match versus Dana Brooke? I'm like, I don't know if Dana Brooke exists anymore. I think I like this Ash by Elegance better.
I do too. And I mean, your debut in TNA was a surprise as well. So I think between last night and your debut in TNA, I think it shows you can keep a secret, that you're not one of the loose lips people in wrestling.
No, it was really incredible because I had a signing in Jacksonville on Saturday before I, headed out to Vegas. And it was very difficult because, a lot of people would come up and they're like, oh my God, we would love to see you back and this and that. I'm like, oh yeah, never say never. Trying to like hold it in. And, I never told anybody. I like to keep it a secret. And nowadays, if, you can keep a secret from wrestling fans and, breaking the internet, then, you've done something right.
And your persona, I don't know if that's an illegal word to say, a condescending thing, but you're more glamorous than the majority of performers in TNA, which is a different direction from what we had seen previously in WWE. Have you always been a fashion-minded person, and this was finally your chance to show that?
Wow, that is actually a great question because I went to school for fashion and I graduated with fashion merchandising and design. So it's like kind of tapping into something that I'm very familiar with. Fashion has always been a part of my life. I love, trends, the latest, hottest, greatest trends. I love fancy things. So being able to tap into that and bring it to life has been a lot of fun. And with, TNA, we've had a lot of fun with creative freedom, being able to play off of real life situations that aren't really talked about, as far as women go. And nowadays with social media, plastic surgery, face fillers, veneers, everything like that. I'm like, why don't we just explore this and have some fun with it? Because, it's everybody really does it, and let's, play with it. So it's been a lot of fun.
Your interests and your talents are so interestingly diverse because your past in bodybuilding and winning awards with relation to that has very little to do with fashion, has very little to do with wrestling, has very little to do with business and marketing, which you just told me your degree was. So I get the vibe you're one of the wrestlers we just know very little about.
Of course, there's a lot to me that not a lot of people know. But I've always been an athlete ever since, the age of 2, I started gymnastics. I was always active in my entire life. Unfortunately, injuries had stopped my career in gymnastics. So I had to transition and thinking about like what I wanted to do and what really was a passion of mine going forward in college, because my parents always had instilled, going to school was something we had to do. So I kind of say this and I'm like, I wasted 4 years of my life going to college because I've never really used it per se, but I'm using it now in my wrestling gimmick.
And another thing that's distinct about you is you're from Ohio. These days, it seems like 1 in 4 wrestlers are from Ohio.
I know that they have great talent in Ohio. It's something in the water.
So when did you kind of realize that it wasn't embarrassing anymore to be from Ohio? Because everybody in your industry is from Ohio.
You know something, it's just so great to see so many amazing people come out of Ohio, whatever it may be, not only wrestling, but sports in general, actors, actresses, basketball players, musicians. It's the land of opportunity, I say. And it kind of, I always love a good opportunity. For 12 years, I've always been looking for an opportunity. And here I am finally with TNA, given that opportunity. So I really feel blessed. But there's so many amazing, talents that come out. Alexa Bliss, Dolph Ziggler, or Nick Nemeth now. It's just Dean Ambrose from Cincinnati. So it's really amazing to see how many wrestlers per se come out of the state of Ohio.
Yeah, for years on and off, TNA and Impact has had Ohio versus everyone. But you seem a little too put together and a little too glamorous for Ohio versus everyone.
And now I reside in the city of Miami, Florida. So we stepped it up a bit. I followed LeBron James and took my talents south. But I must say, I did see, the total nonstop, summer action. And we are going to Cleveland, Ohio here in September. So I'm super excited about it. And this coming Friday and Saturday, we're headed to Chicago, which is not too far from my hometown as well. So I'm super pumped. We're going back to the Northeast and I can show them a thing or two up there and show and grace them with some elegance.
You just answered my next 2 intended questions, which are, where are we going to see you live and which shows are you on? You managed to do that like the media professional you are and get those things out of the way. So let's do a substitute question. Is the next big goal for you career-wise the world title, the Knockouts Championship in TNA, or did I miss something and there's a stepping stone goal?
No, I think you read my mind like I read yours. That's definitely radar. I love Jordan. I think she is one heck of an athlete. Her talents are just super amazing, and I love to step in the ring with her and create some magic. And definitely, I like to say take that title and give her that step where she can, the next thing is she can control her destiny, and she has knocked down the doors in WWE with entering the Royal Rumble, being on NXT, and she has created, a path for TNA wrestlers to come out and do what they really want to do, and that's to create some noise, and that's definitely what she's done. So I'm excited to step in the ring with her and see what we can do.
Got it. Well, 2 quick questions, and then I let you go. The first one is, as somebody who's been on television for basically more than a decade at this point in time, I don't know if everybody realizes that, but you've been on more episodes of television than the cast members of Friends. It's just a lot of TV time and all that. Do you have acting aspirations for your career?
Most definitely. I love, when we had broken into the business with NXT, we were acting every single week. We had Howard Fine. I was actually working close with Dusty Rhodes on some promo classes as well. Towards my end of my WWE career, during the pandemic, I was working with an acting coach that they had provided, and it was truly amazing. I would do that and do some screenplays. I was, going out for a casting for a movie as well, too. So Hollywood is definitely in the near future as well. But that's something that you have to have up your sleeve being a professional wrestler.
So Hollywood, gymnastics, marketing, fashion, you're just full of surprises. So the last question is, as a fitness person, what music do you put on when you have control of the radio or the playlist or whatever at the gym? Or do you not care about that, and as long as the BPM is high?
No, it kind of depends upon my mood. If I'm feeling, a little pep in my step, I definitely love a good house music. I like, Rufus's Soul right now is a great band to listen to. as I see your shirt, is Kiss. That's definitely, if I feel like throwing some weight around, Kiss is definitely on my list. A little rock and roll never hurts anybody. Definitely gets me going. If I feel like I want to lift hard. If I want to do like high intensity cardio workouts, it's definitely a bit of house music with a little bit of techno.
Wow.
I'm not a street girl, I don't offend anyone, but I can't the country.
But Rocky IV soundtrack, does that ever factor in, or are you too young for that?
Of course, that's like, I got to do it. I can't stop. I can't give up.
Well, Ash, thank you for the years of great entertainment. Looking forward to seeing you as a future world champion, and just keep up all the greatness out there.
Thank you so much for your time, and I greatly appreciate it.
Paltrocast.
Derek, how's your day going aside from answering the same questions over and over and over again?
Fantastic. I'm happy to talk to you.
Well, the pleasure is mutual here, but I want to correct some IMDb fallacies right here. And they say Derek is from New York City. Is that true?
I lived in New York City for about 5 or 6 years. Yeah. I'm from like upstate New York.
Oh, really?
I went to Cornell.
You went Ithaca?
Yeah, like Orange County.
Wow.
Yeah, Middletown.
Wow. But I mean, New York is New York. Those are the facts right there. So where did you actually film Agent Recon?
In California, LA. Yeah. Up in Santa Clarita and some green screen studios up in Burbank.
Got it. When was it actually filmed? Because these days you can only know pre-pandemic or post-pandemic in terms of film timelines.
It was towards the end of pandemic. It was like January of 2023. So we were still wearing masks. I'm based in Hong Kong, by the way. And when I went, after I shot, we went back and they hadn't removed the mask rule. So I was wearing masks all the time. So, but yeah, it actually wasn't too long ago, but it does feel like an eternity. Like, January. It's really been only a year and a half, but.
Well, congratulations on it coming out. I mean, anyone can think they have a movie idea. Most people cannot finish a movie. And in your case, writer, director, star, etc. Did you know from the get-go that you also wanted to be on camera besides writing and directing and producing and all that?
I thought you were going to ask me, did you know from the get-go whether you're going to finish the movie? And the answer is no.
Oh, really? That much of an undertaking?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things going on. Sorry, ask the question again. Did I know I want to be on camera? Is that what you're asking?
Now, you have great credits and all that, but sometimes people go, hey, if I'm directing it, producing it, making sure the budget is going through, making sure the script is followed, I also don't want the pressure of staying in shape, staying alert. In other words, the writer, director, producer, that's like a 20-hour day.
Oh, yeah. I'm exhausted. I have pictures of me just like laid out flat. And you just have to be smart, though, about how you that's why actually like I produce as well, because you just have to be very smart about how you structure, especially with action. Like back-to-back action days, not a good thing because you're sore from one day. I mean, sometimes you're really just all day, like just trekking through. So it's not something I wish upon anybody to want to be on camera and then produce, but it's also very liberating. I would say it's definitely like I could make decisions very quickly on set versus imagine like you want to change the story a little bit or maybe the writing is a certain way and you don't have rights or something like that. So that's a big thing actually in filmmaking is like the copyright and all that stuff. So being the writer, being the director, and then being the lead actor, I can at least know that I'm going to finish because at least I'm controlling the major parts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an advantage. I was a disadvantage. You have to think around. It's like, okay, how am I going to review my performance? So, I mean, one of the good things is if you surround yourself with great people, though, then a lot of the planning, a lot of the heavy lifting is done for you. And then I'm looking at the monitor and making sure it's good or not. And then how do I know if it's great or not or certain areas? Well, I get feedback from my team.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Singer had a good time. Chuck Norris had a good time. So I did something right.
Just one or two or three or four, five, six things right. But when you were writing the script, did you know right away this is Chuck and this is Mark, or was there courting involved with all that?
This true story with Chuck Norris is that he came to mind. He came to mind, but we sent the script to him, and Mrs. Norris said that he was flying back from Hawaii. They put the script in front of him and said, "See if you like it or not." Because remember, he hasn't done a movie in 12 years since Expendables 2, right?
Yes.
So it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal for all things.
Not, I'm going to rudely interrupt you.
Yeah.
It's not kind of a big deal. It is a big deal when you're able to get an actor out of retirement, especially when it's a DIY indie, granted major distribution, but an indie approach. So that means they loved what you gave them.
Yeah, I'm understating. I mean, they've been so supportive. But yeah, so on that flight, he read it. She said that he couldn't put the script down. And she made that very clear to me the first time we spoke, that he couldn't put the script down, and that he said, "We have to do this movie." So I was, first of all, I was crying because I've worked hard. I've worked hard at my craft. I would say I'm still learning, still progressing, but it was definitely something, that was a major moment for me. And just thankful and grateful that, I think that's sometimes people just need a break, right? Some people just need, you don't you shouldn't just get the break. I mean, I've worked really hard for it and hustled for it. So that was that. And sorry, that was that, right? I just understate everything. But yeah, no, it's been a big deal. This whole thing has been a big deal for me. It's been a journey. Mark Singer, the funny thing is when the previous movie, I had seen his name pop up, and he was always someone I wanted to work with. I've just always been a fan. So when the role of Colonel Green really needed shoes to be filled, I reached out to him. He read the script, and I think that night they got back to me and said, "We want to do it." So I was like, yeah, and then so I really got the two heroes that I grew up watching to fill awesome roles for me. So so I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed, and that's how it came about. Was don't get me wrong. Obviously, I did think about, okay, who could play these roles. I mean, as a producer, you have to wear that hat and you have to think about who could do it. But I think ultimately, one of the things that I prefer for action, because nowadays we're trying to, John Wick came out, and then now we have all these versions of John Wick. And don't get me wrong, I think I like the John Wick series, but it's like everybody's suddenly an action actor,
Yeah.
I think because they discovered that they could like any actor could look pretty good with a great stunt team. And my stunt team is pretty much, similar. Like a lot of them worked on the big Marvel projects anyway, right? Like Bill Fiedler worked on Punisher,
right?
The Netflix one, right? So, but for me, there's something about like having legit action heroes, like Mark Singer. I don't think people know that he knows Hung Gar Kung Fu. That's a kung fu that I studied as a kid. And he still does it. He talks about his seafood. I mean, we're talking about Cantonese stuff, which I'm like, whoa, okay, I had no idea. I had no idea about it. I just knew him as the Beastmaster, and then I watched that film like 100 times. And V was a TV show, like it was that was the equivalent of any major TV series now, like the biggest budgeted TV series, and I look forward to those episodes. So yeah, and obviously Chuck Norris, I mean, geez, he's like, for action, like he does it all. Like he's able to do it, and it's believable because he's a karate champion. He's a champion.
And a successful entrepreneur. I've covered Roundhouse Provisions a few times, his new line of gut health, probiotics, etc. But hey, we're not talking about Chuck here. We're talking about you. My last thing for you, Derek, before I let you go is this film is such a massive undertaking because you're on camera and behind the scenes and doing the budgets, etc. You and your team. Are we allowed to know what's next from you, what's next for you, etc.? Or is that all a big secret until the Hollywood Reporter says it's okay to announce it?
To my early supporters, and that will include you, I will let you know. But the truth is, this is what I know that I'm good at. I think I'm good at action films, and I understand how to work with visual effects, and I know how to work with actors. So it certainly will be another action film, and I've been encouraged to do like another franchise. I've been in joke about this. Chuck in it. We were in Chuck's trailer, and he's like, "You got to do a TV series, Derek." So I don't know. We'll see after people see this, But Chuck's like sitting there. You got to do a TV series, and when Chuck talks, you just have to listen, right?
Nash Bridges.
Whatever he says, you just got to do.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him in he's doing his, he was doing his voiceover work. He's so nice. He they reached out to me and said, "Hey, if you need any voiceover, if you need any like pickup lines, let me know." And they met up with me in LA. First thing he says to me is, "We have to tell everybody about this movie, Derek. Everybody." So tell everybody.
So
listen to Chuck. If he tells you, you do, right? Because Chuck is the movie.
So the main thing I've learned before I let you go is this is the rare case where you do want to meet your heroes and they do not disappoint you.
Absolutely. 100%. My big thing is all the way. This has been a journey for me. It's obviously been a dream come true. But certainly the struggles, the challenges, the nights crying, the nights figuring out, like, will this work? I've said all the way, like, every step of the way, there's just no turning back. So let's do it. Watch it, June 21.
Paltrocast.
Thank you all for taking the time. Congratulations on the Tribeca acceptance, to say the least. Lanie, when did you get the good news that Tribeca was happening?
I actually was in Wilmington, North Carolina I was opening for Chase Rice, and we were all in our little Airbnb that we squeezed into with my family. And Jonathan let my family know before me, and so my mom was able to announce the good news, and so it was really special. I think there's a video of it. I'm just kind of in shock. It's kind of one of those too good to be true things. I'm like, did someone make a mistake or like what?
Yeah, I believe it's one of 10 music videos that got in out of 8,000 submissions.
Yes. Yep.
Got it. So throwing it to Ryan here. Ryan, how did this team, this collaborative effort all happen in the first place from your perspective?
Yeah, so Jonathan, Steven, and I have been working together for a couple of years now. We started working together on Jelly Roll projects in 2020. We were kind of thrown together as a team to get a bunch of content out during the pandemic. We shot, the number always goes away in my head because it was just a ludicrous amount of videos. But I think the craziest schedule that we had was we shot 7 videos in 10 days. And then it just picked up from there. It was just constant work. But throughout that work, it really solidified us as a team. And when you're in the foxhole with somebody, it really just kind of, gets you through those tough times and gets you through that hard work. And so we have stayed in touch throughout the years and really tried to throw each other as many projects as we can. And when Jonathan started working with Lanie, I think it was just kind of in his mind that like he had the video team to bring some of these projects to life. And with 6 Feet Deep, that project was brought to me to kind of write a treatment for. It was actually a part of a bigger storyline. We were going to do 2 videos that kind of had the same like running story throughout. We didn't end up getting to do the first part, but we kept the second part, and that's what you see in 6 Feet Deep. So it was a lot of collaboration, a lot of moving parts, but a very small team. So we kind of had to make it happen, and it came out great.
Wow. Jonathan, anything to add to that? Did Ryan have all the facts correct, or is there a missing connecting kind of event? And it's fine if he told the truth.
Yeah, he got it. I mean, it's a bigger storyline, but I think that's what gives this video some depth too, is that we kind of, in the parts you don't know, we developed the core of these characters that are in this video, Lanie and Caden, and so that it comes through even in this video. And then, the influences that, Ryan uses when he creates a treatment, bring it to life. He's a big Quentin Tarantino fan. And I don't know, a lot of people could watch it and probably sense that and pick up on it when they watch it back that, there's some influence there that there comes through. And I think that adds to it as well, just the different elements of production, capturing the footage, and then in post, all the effects and everything they put in there is great.
Now, throwing it here to Steven, welcome to the conversation. Is this your first Tribeca-related affiliation?
Absolutely, yeah. This is my very first one. I always wanted to go and attend and just watch, but never thought the first time going to it would be having a submission in there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, Lanie, I believe it's your first Tribeca. Now, you've been around New York a lot because you signed your Republic deal in 2020, the Jonas Brothers Association, et cetera. I assume you have to miss Tribeca this year due to your busy touring schedule?
When I signed with Jonas Group, and Republic, I actually wasn't living in New York during the time. So I honestly have only been out to New York a couple of times. So I'm excited to get back out there for the film festival, which I will actually be able to attend this year. We're going to do a show and then basically leave later that night to be able to make it, because we are just so excited to just be a part of it and be a part of it together that there's no way we were going to miss it.
Ryan, are you and team also getting to come to town for it?
Oh yeah. It's going to be amazing. I'm kind of like without words. We've known about it for weeks and weeks now, but I still haven't been able to find the words to really put it correctly, like what it means to me and what it means to our team to be able to be featured at such a prestigious film event. It's going to be incredible.
So working the room right here before I let everybody go, because you've been generous with your time, you allowed a kind rescheduling from this person over here. Lanie, you just mentioned you're getting to town to see the festival really quickly, then you're back on the road. What's coming up for you in the next coming months, Lanie?
We are releasing a lot of music, which we're really excited about, and also actually working on other films with Ryan and Steven. And we are doing a lot of festivals, just live music, live performances. I don't know, a lot of stuff it's just building up, and there's no telling what's coming for the rest of the year. Everything kind of just shows up out of nowhere, which is awesome.
Paltrow.